we're gonna go over some of the greatest music from the Legend of Zelda franchise, and we're bound to make some people upset because there are just so many songs in the Legend of Zelda series. So today, we're gonna be going over my personal top 10 songs from the Legend of Zelda series. So here we go! Of Wormys Playhouse, and yes, today we're going to be covering some of the top 10 greatest Legend of Zelda songs, personally my favorites, and there are so many songs in the Legend of Zelda franchise, even down to the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, the one game that everyone can pretty much agree on that, well, there's just no music in that game. Except for that there is a lot of music because I have the proof here. I have the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild original soundtrack, and there are over 300 songs in this game. 300 songs in Breath of the Wild! So there are hundreds of songs out of all the Zelda games. So many great games that I'm going to be covering over today, and some of the stipulations that I have for this video is that if I'm using one song from one Zelda game, I won't be using another song from the same Zelda game in this list as well. Because otherwise I'll just have all the songs in this list just filled with Ocarina of Time songs or Wind Waker songs. So I'm going to keep it so one song per game. And again, this is just my list. You might have a different list at home, so let me know what some of the songs that you like from the Legend of Zelda franchise. And it's really hard to put all these songs in a specific order, so you can pretty much just rearrange some of the songs in this list. And today I might feel this way, but tomorrow I might have an entirely different new list for the Zelda music. Number 10. Throughout the many years of the Legend of Zelda series, I want to go all the way back to the original Zelda game. Not the original game on the NES, but the actual game that started the entire series, the prequel game on the Wii, Skyward Sword. Yes, it's considered the black sheep of the family, but Skyward Sword is the kicking off point for the Legend of Zelda franchise, for the actual story, and the Ballad of Goddess is the one song that brings the franchise together as a whole while it stays true to the main theme from the Legend of Zelda. It has some build up to the song, it has some melody with the harp, and it really gets you feeling that you're setting out for a grand adventure. So my number 10 is Ballad of the Goddess. So speaking of the game that starts off the franchise, let's actually dive into the NES version of The Legend of Zelda. This is the game that created the epic melody, that tune that we all hear for The Legend of Zelda. We know that same song, we've heard it dozens of times throughout the years, and it goes all the way back to the bleeps and bloops, and it's been redone many times. You have an orchestrated version of it, you have all different HD remasters of this song. It's such a recognizable song that we all know that this is The Legend of Zelda, and this is a song that it still aged well today. So no matter what version you listen to, whether it's the original NES version or the orchestrated version, you know that this is going to be a very memorable song. So my number 9 is the Legend of Zelda main theme. Zelda games have been very prevalent on handheld consoles, and we've all wanted a traditional Zelda game to go back to the style of A Link to the Past. So when A Link Between Worlds released for the Nintendo 3DS, we were all blown away. This was a return to formula. And again, when we split into a new world, the new underworld, LORULE, that music, when that kicks in, this is a dark and evil world, and you know that this is going to be an epic adventure. So my number 8 is A Link Between Worlds, LORULE Castle. was released on the GameCube, we were all looking for for a darker Zelda game. So when Nintendo released Twilight Princess, we all knew that this was going to be that dark game that we've all been craving from Zelda. But when the song Midna's Lament kicks in, you feel this ominous feeling, this dark, eerie feeling inside. You're racing to Hyrule Castle to hopefully save Midna. She's on your back dying and you don't know what to do. You're literally racing against time to save her. This is that song that you mourn for, that song that gives you that eerie, dark feeling. So my number 7 is Twilight Princess's Midna's Lament. Number 6. After the release of the first Zelda game on the NES, Nintendo was striving for a new game for the franchise, but in a new creative way. And The Adventure of Link was that new game for Nintendo to really branch out the Zelda series. Unfortunately, it took a wrong turn and a little bit too different from what we were used to or what we were actually looking forward to. And Nintendo really had to nail that dungeon music because you were deep in those dungeons over and over again listening to that same song. And Nintendo really had a home run with the Palace theme because that song was a really catchy song. It really got you humming along to the beats, and it's so good that it's even good in heavy metal. So my number 6 is The Adventure of Link Palace theme. Being so popular for Nintendo, you know they had to really take a new direction with Legend of Zelda, and to continue on from the story from Wind Waker, then we have Phantom Hourglass, and then lastly we have the Spirit Tracks. And that overworld adventure song was very melodic and upbeat. It had that pan flute instrument. That song I could listen to all day. I just love the pan flute to it, and it really matched the feeling of being a conductor in a train, just setting off across the lands, driving all around. And this is that new land for Zelda. This isn't Hyrule. This is a new world that you set out to discover, and now you're on this epic adventure. So my number 5 from Spirit Tracks, the Overworld Adventure. Now this song is kind of a double song because it's in 2 different games. It's in A Link Between Worlds and the original A Link to the Past, The Dark World. This is what got the Zelda franchise out to the masses. And when you got that mirror and switched to the Dark World, you knew that that was the turning point and you were setting out to defeat Ganon, and it really pushed that Zelda music forward. So my number 4 is A Link to the Past, The Dark World. When Nintendo 64 released, that was a jumping point for Zelda from 2D to 3D. And Ocarina of Time was the Zelda game that I played the most. That was a game that they introduced a new game mechanic for the creation of music. You could use your ocarina to play all different Zelda songs. You could even create your very own music. Ocarina of Time was a game that really branched out different Zelda music. You have the Song of Storms, you have the Song of Time, you have Zelda's Lullaby. But one song in particular, Gerudo's Valley, that was that song that really gave you that drive, that feeling that you were setting out to conquer Ganondorf. That entire section of the game, sneaking around through Gerudo Village, trying to use your hookshot to get across the buildings, that is what sealed this song into the Zelda history. So my number 3 is Ocarina of Time, Gerudo Valley. games is Wind Waker. That feeling that you have setting out into the open ocean, that really gave you that open world feeling. And all the different characters, each one of them have such a wide array of different personalities. You have Toon Link with all his different emotions on his face. Tetra the pirate, she is such a sassy girl. She's one of my favorite characters in the Zelda franchise. So I might be a little bit biased to the Wind Waker music, but all the songs in that game had such an amazing sound. And setting out in the open ocean, sailing along in the waves with the breeze through your hair, that was a game. Those are the sounds that I love to hear. So my number 2 is Wind Waker, the Great Sea. Mentions. Hands down, do you really have to ask? Of course, my number 1 song is the Breath of the Wild E3 Nintendo presentation. That song captures all the essence throughout all the years of The Legend of Zelda. It has everything from a melody to emotion to courageous to an anthematic feeling. And when Nintendo released this song for the trailer at the E3 presentation, this was that trailer that really got me hyped for Breath of the Wild. Yes, you can argue that there aren't that many songs in Breath of the Wild, but I have the proof right here. The Breath of the Wild original soundtrack, over 300 songs. Like I said at the beginning, most of the game is very atmospheric. That was the feeling that they really wanted to hit home with you. But when that music did kick in, whether you're going into a new town or village, or if you're just galloping along on your horse, or into Hyrule Castle, that music had some of the best tunes throughout all the Zelda games. So my number 1 is the Breath of the Wild Nintendo presentation trailer. So that's the top 10 music list that I put together for the Legend of Zelda franchise. Again, these are just some of my personal favorites, and today this might be my list, but tomorrow I might have an entirely new list. There are so many songs throughout all the Zelda games. Arguably all of them are really amazing. Each one of them could be the very best. So what are some of your top 10 Zelda songs? Let me know, comment down below on which ones are your favorite. Which one of them did I miss? Because I know I missed a lot. I always have a great time putting together these music lists. These are some of my favorite videos to make. So we'll be creating new video game music episodes for you guys, and maybe I'll even make another Legend of Zelda top 10 music. So thank you for joining us today for another episode of Wormys Playhouse, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter, and we'll see you again for the episode. We'll see you there. Bye.